Welcome, I'm Natalie. I'll be presenting my teacher's research project with you today. I'll be discussing my findings from my case study research in response to the question, how can I introduce elements of risky play into daily experiences for children to extend themselves? I was able to collect data through various observation tools such as video recordings, anecdotal and running records based on 3 children which I had chosen to focus through my research. I chose to focus my observation based on these 3 children and captured how they engaged in the obstacle course experience and how their parents and educators responded to their participation in the experience. When responding to my research question, how can I introduce elements of risky play into daily experiences for children to extend themselves? I was able to set up an outdoor obstacle course following the safety guidelines, which allowed the children to extend themselves by taking risks in a managed environment. Romeo also explains that outdoor risky play experiences are especially important as it allows children to independently make their own choices, which ultimately builds on their autonomy later in life. In addition, play, which is defined by Little and Weaver, provides a thrilling and exciting activity that involves a risk of physical injury and play that provides opportunities for challenge, testing limits, exploring boundaries, and learning about injury risk. This was evident when Child C would accidentally fall when attempting to walk across the beams quickly. He learnt to slowly walk across in order to keep his balance, which he then learnt that it worked best and continued to repeat the same techniques. Because I'm having some technical difficulties at the moment, I'm unable to provide you with a PowerPoint. However, I'll provide the link where you can click on to see the findings, which records what I had observed with childs A, B, and C, and they are aged ranged from 12 to 18 months and how they engaged in the outdoor play space. Okay, moving back to my findings. Through the obstacle course experience, I also noticed that the children were taking a challenge as they had not experienced an obstacle course before and were testing the limits and boundaries when exploring ways that they could climb up the frame, finding the confidence to balance and walk across the beam. Although there were many times where Child C had fallen onto the mat when balancing across the beam, he managed to attempt it again, demonstrating resilience. Through this observation, it was evident to see that Child C was not afraid of testing his boundaries, and although he may have failed a few times, he eventually worked out the best way to go across the beam, which for him was to go slowly. Macfarlane also noted that failures, however, allow children to learn from the mistakes in order to find other ways of doing and becomes a valuable part of their learning through risky play. Findings from informal discussions with parents A, B, and C revealed that their beliefs that risky play was important for children to acquire new skills and allow them to learn from their own experiences through trial and error. Although parents of child A did express concerns of her child playing near the tan bark, fearing that her child might attempt to eat the bark, however, contrary to her anxiousness, it was evident that Child A was quite curious and adventurous as he would make his way around the yard with great competence, showing no interest in placing the tan bark in his mouth, which was due to his mum's belief. Due to the parents' attitude, Child A was limited to the different opportunities available to help extend his exploration, being able to challenge and discover his capabilities and limits. This can ultimately disable children's self-worth and sense of confidence to persevere when faced with challenges, as they become embarrassed of failure and lose motivation later on in life. In contrast to parent A's concern, about her child playing in the tan bark area, it was clear that this had affected educator A's practices. further, as she felt that they needed to always redirect the child away from the tanback, fearing that they will choke. It was evident that parent A and educator A had become emotional when caring for the safety of child A, in engaging in risky play, restricting children from going outside without their supervision. In conclusion, this research has helped me to develop a deeper understanding based on my practices when responding to exploration in risky outdoor play. It allowed me to reflect on the way I respond to children when faced with some challenges, reframing from intervening right away, but rather allowing them to figure out a solution on their own. As children learn when they are exposed to challenges, it had made me aware that overprotecting children from themselves means that children don't learn skills to be able to manage and assess risk for themselves, as it was clear to see that child A continued to return to the same area when he was removed. It was also evident that attitudes of both educator A and parent A towards children engaging in risky outdoor play hindered the children's opportunities and abilities to participate in the risk-taking on the outdoor obstacle course. This can ultimately disable children's self-worth and sense of confidence to persevere when faced with challenges, as they fear the embarrassment and failure and lose motivation to try again. Concluding the research, I found that there were many benefits of children being engaged in the obstacle course during outdoor play, as it offered them more flexibility and freedom to move around, such as climbing and jumping. My research, however, is limited due to the time frame and the limited space and resources of the outdoor area. In conclusion, that completes my project research. Thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you.